Hey, this is Gunsmith Beard back with another gun video. And so I want to talk to you guys about one of my dream guns that I always wanted. And so obviously I was born in the 80s and 90 action movies were my jam. They were like the staple of my childhood. First there was Die Hard, and then there was The Matrix, and then there was, I think even Speed had some of these in the movie too. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. But so I've always been a huge MP5 fan or MP5K fan. And so last year, I got my hands on one of my dream guns, which is an MP5K. Now, this is not an MP5K or an SP5K. It is a Century Arms clone, which is the AP5P. And so what is the difference? Not really a whole lot. I mean, to be honest, this is a one-in-one clone, meaning that it takes almost all HK parts. There are some differences, and we'll talk about that in just a second on some of the things that I've done to mine, but it's pretty much an AP5K or SP5K. It just doesn't have HK written on the side. It has Century Arms, and the tooling and all that stuff was done in Turkey, even though the tooling was HK tooling. So this was made just like they did back in the day, and all the parts are legit. So what have I done to it? I do have, as you can see, a full rail system claw mount. And so they call it a claw mount because it has these little claws that kind of grip onto the top of the receiver. And this one obviously doesn't have an optic at this point. I had an optic. I actually tried a few different optics. They were a little bit too tall and I didn't like them. So if I'm going to put an optic, like a T1, Aimpoint T1 or something would be perfect for this because it sits really low. But before I put an optic, to be honest, I would probably go ahead and SBR this and get an actual stock, like a PDW style stock, if I was going to run an optic, because that makes sense. And as for my handguard, that is not an AP5P handguard. You might notice it is actually a genuine HK SP5K handguard. So it does take modification. It does not fit perfectly without modification. The reason is, if you look, my sling mount up here was actually striking my handguard. So I dremeled just a little bit down. I clearanced that so that would have perfect clearance. And I did that on both sides, so aesthetically it looks the same. And so once I did that, it actually fit perfectly. It's nice and snug, it's nice and tight. That's what she said. But anyway, it's really good. It has the nice hand stop, which I really like. And so I know 1,000 people are probably thinking, hey, why did you cover up your tri-lug or your threaded barrel? Why would you do that? And the answer is because there isn't one. This is a flush model. So the barrel does not have threads on the end, and it doesn't have the tri-lug adapter threaded onto the threads. So there is no way for me to put a can on this model. Yes, that's sad, but that's why I went with this handguard, because I love how it looks. It kind of brings back that era, that nostalgia that comes from the old, action movies in the 90s and early 2000s. It just has that feel. And so knowing that, and the only way I could put a can on it is to do a very labor intensive barrel swap, because if you're not familiar, MP5s or MP5Ks, barrel swaps are super labor intensive, and you have to take it to somebody that knows what the hell they're doing, because it's not like an AR-15 where you can easily swap it yourself. It takes special tooling and special know-how from somebody that has done this in the past and know what the hell they're doing before they touch it. So with that all being said, that is why I chose the handguard I chose, and the rail system, I absolutely love it. And so I'll show you up close video on that, and let's go ahead and do it now. Hey guys, this is the up close view of the handguard. This is, like I said, the SP5K handguard with the hand stop. And so, as you can see, I had the clearance right here for my sling mount, and the kind of the same thing on the other side. So just bring this down just a little bit. Didn't take a whole lot. Now the handguard, I will say, is really tight. So when you're pushing your push pin back in, it's going to be a little snug. Here is the Midwest Industries full MP5K rail, which is super nice. Really happy with that. Glad I got it. And so I picked the handguard up from Brownells, and Brownells does have a few MP5 and MP5K accessories. So if you guys are in the market, definitely check them out. All right, so now that you've seen that, this is my MP5K. I absolutely love it, even though technically it's not an MP5K. We've gone over this, it's an AP5P. But anyway, this is my pride and joy. I absolutely love it. Finally got my hands on one, and I couldn't be more happy with this. So if you guys are in the market for an MP5K clone, I would highly recommend this gun. If you have any questions or comments, thanks again for your time. And as always, I will catch you in the next one. See ya.